So USA is going to be facing England in a couple of hours. I know that many people here that are watching this YouTube video are very nervous because, of course, USA do have to get that win against England. Right now, England is in first place. We have Wales in second place, third place, USA, and then fourth place, Iran. So it is mandatory, my friends, for USA to get that win against England. And it's crazy, right? Because before England and USA even do play in a couple of hours, we're probably already going to be seeing Wales versus Iran and what that end result is going to be. Most likely, Wales will be getting the result against Iran. I mean, it would be wonderful to see Iran get 3 points, but most likely by the time we do head towards that game, like an hour before, we'll know our scenario. We'll know exactly what needs to happen, because if we go into that game knowing that Wales got the 3 points, it is mandatory for USA to get 3 points against England, which is a very difficult task, but it is not impossible. Now, I know that USA did tie against Wales, and I know that many are going to be questioning, why would USA get 3 points against England when they couldn't even get 3 points against Wales? Well, I think that USA have learned a few lessons. I think that there were some things that really did piss off many people, and Greg Berhalter does know that. He knows that he made certain decisions that did not really resonate well with the team or the players and the fans and the end result. And so this moment probably would have felt a lot different if only USA got the 3 points against Wales a couple of days ago. If we actually won 1-0 going up against England, like even if we were to lose against England, things probably would have been okay at the end of the day, because the only thing that we're probably going to have to do if we did receive those 3 points is to beat Iran 1-0, 2-0, maybe even 3-0. But because we have tied now, it is mandatory to get a good result against England and a great result against Iran. But I'm optimistic. I think that this USA team can do what is necessary, like with Robinson going up and down the flanks, with Serginho Dest doing great things defensively, Christian Pulisic scoring goals, providing assists, Wea maybe acting like the number 9. If we could do things like that, things are going to go well with this USA team. I know it does feel like the end of the world because, again, like what we did explain in the previous video, we were supposed to come out with 3 points, but it is not the end of the world. Everything's going to be okay. I'm optimistic that we can get at least a tie. I don't even care if it's 0-0. I don't even care if it's going to be 1-1 or maybe even 2-2. As long as we get a tie against England, that is a net positive, right? A net positive for Greg Berhalter's USA, for us to go to the next round, in the round of 16. And I also feel very optimistic, right, that we could win because the quality is there. We just have to execute the game plan very, very well. We need to have clarity on what that plan is, and plus we need to be 110% ready to face England, because England's not going to be an easy team to break down. And I think that if we can be 1,000% ready mentally and have clarity on that game plan when it comes to the attack, things are going to go okay. We have the quality, we have the talent, we have the technique within these players to execute the game plan. And so I don't see why USA cannot come out against England and come out with 3 points. So there are going to be 3 things that I want this team to do in order for us to win against England. Point number 1 is to take advantage of the counters. Like what did happen against Wales in the second half in the last 45 minutes was so embarrassing, because I could count like 5 counterattacks, 5 big chances that USA could have taken advantage of in order for us to score maybe 2 goals, maybe 3 goals, maybe 4 goals. We just need to have the correct shape and the correct unity when these players are together and they're going on to attack, because there were so many times when I saw Musa going up, running up the flank into the final third, and then there was no, again, unity. There was no togetherness. There was no Christian Pulisic asking for the ball after Musa was running with the ball. There was nothing about Wea asking for the ball after Musa was running with the ball. Or sometimes we saw Christian Pulisic go into the final third and no one was helping Christian Pulisic. Again, there needs to be more unity when we run into those spaces and we try to attack Wales, because everybody looks so isolated. Like none of these players know, they don't know exactly what to do. And in games like this in the World Cup, you need to know exactly what to do, and it's up to Greg Berhalter to basically make those plans clear for these players, whatever that starting 11 is going to be. Like, for example, we look at these frames here and we can just see that USA is in a great defensive shape. They're ready to take the ball away from Wales. Wales are trying to go up, but we saw USA take the ball away, and then you can see Christian Pulisic receive the ball. He runs up to the final third. He passes it towards Yunus Musa. Yunus Musa goes down the flank, and then he doesn't see any players open, which is the reason why his ball was intercepted by one of the defenders from Wales, right? And none of these players inside inside the box were available for Musa, which is why I do say these players need to have more clarity. They need to know exactly what to do and where to be at to receive the ball, because or else you're just going to be having like 5 to 6 random men just go into the final third and be like, okay, what do we do next? And let me tell you, England are going to be allowing this. Like, they're going to want to go up the pitch, score goals. They're going to be confident, overconfident, thinking that they're going to come out with a great win against USA, maybe score 4 goals, 5 goals, which I don't think that's the case. Like, historically, it takes a lot for England to even get a point against USA. But England are going to come in, they're going to push up high. They're going to most likely be operating with 3 men, something that Southgate does like to do with his national team, and that is where USA can find those spaces between the center back and the wing back and really just take advantage of making those counterattacks actually happen and score those goals. We have the talent, my friends. We have the players to execute this so well, with Weah potentially playing as a number 9, which is something that many of us do want to see. We saw how USA scored their first goal against Wales. It was pure Weah acting as the 9, going into those spaces between the center backs, between the fullbacks and the center backs, and having Christian Pulisic act like the 10 and create for his number 9, which was at that time Weah. So we need to win the ball in the midfield. Most likely England are going to want to oversaturate the midfield to win the midfield. This will be a midfield battle, and if USA can do what they need to do with McKennie, Musa, Tyler Adams taking the ball away from England, most likely England are going to be having possession. But if they can take the ball away from England, act fast, make those through passes very fast between the center backs and the fullbacks, having Musa receive the ball, having Christian Pulisic receive the ball, we counterattack, go into the box, be lethal, be decisive, score those goals, USA will be okay. Point number 2 is going to be to start Gio Reyna. Like, please, can we just start Gio Reyna? Like, it's crazy to me to know that we still have not seen Gio Reyna on the pitch till this very day. We should have seen Gio Reyna up against Wales, because we needed something like that, and especially in the first half, to score more goals and so we can avoid Wales tying up against us. Because I remember I was explaining to my father when we were watching the first 45 minutes of this game, when USA were very up high, when we were like outside the box and basically surrounding Wales in their own half, the one player that we needed was Gio Reyna to create and to get around those tight spaces, not someone like Yunus Musa at that time, even though Yunus Musa is a great weapon. But at that time, for specific games, right, because every game is going to be different, at that time we needed Gio Reyna to receive the ball from high areas, be right next to the front 3, and basically create for the front 3. Because Yunus Musa is a player that likes to receive the ball from deep areas and then attack the open spaces and go on the counterattack. That is something that USA could do against England, but I remember against Wales, when we were the ones that were already up there in the final third already, surrounding their box, we needed someone like Gio Reyna. But of course, going up against England, we don't know what we're going to be getting. Most likely, they're going to be having the ball. We're probably going to be sitting deep. But when we are in situations where we have the ball and we're building up and we're surrounding them in their own box and we're high up the pitch, someone like Gio Reyna is really going to come in clutch. So most likely, we're going to be seeing Gio Reyna start, just like Greg Berhalter did say. Like, Gio Reyna is going to be playing a part within this match. He did say this a few hours ago. But the biggest question is going to be, where is he going to be starting? Is he going to be in the midfield, or is he most likely going to be playing on the right wing position? Meaning that it's just going to be depending on what happens with McKennie, because the only reason why McKennie did even leave very early in that match, it is because he had a thigh problem, and who knows if he's going to be 100% fit. And if that player, McKennie, is not 100% fit, then we should have a midfield of Gio Reyna, Yunus Musa, and Tyler Adams, with Yunus Musa and Tyler Adams sitting deeper than Gio Reyna, and Gio Reyna being higher up the pitch and creating for the front 3. If McKennie is available and Greg Berhalter gives him the green light and that he should be starting no matter what, then yes, we should have McKennie, Yunus Musa, and Tyler Adams, the MMA, and then having Gio Reyna on the right wing with Timothy Weah, like we have discussed, as the number 9, and having Christian Pulisic as the left winger. If we can have a front 3 like that, a midfield like that, and then having our backline being Zimmerman with Ream, with Serginho Dest and Robinson, we will be okay, and having Matt Turner in goal. And then the last point that I do want to make is going to be this. The one thing that USA should also be doing to potentially get that win against England, which again is going to be so decisive, my friends, is to just sit deeper than usual. I think that there is just no way that the USA can have 90% or like 85% of the possession against England and press up high. I just do not see USA doing that. I think that England are going to be the superior ones, which is okay, right? Let them have the ball then. If England are going to be the most technical ones, the ones that are going to be having the ball, that is okay. We just need to know exactly what we want to do once we do receive the ball from those deep areas, right? We need to know exactly what to do. And also, this is going to help us defensively in order for them not to score a goal against us. The reason why I feel so comfortable on saying that we should sit deep is because we have very athletic midfielders, very athletic fullbacks, a very athletic front three that can easily exploit those spaces once we do receive the ball from deep areas and we win the ball. Let's say Grealish loses the ball. Let's say Foden loses the ball. Let's say Rashford loses the ball. We can exploit those spaces. And also, it doesn't make any sense for USA to press up high, be on not even a mid block, but to sit deep, because players like Rashford, players like Foden, Grealish, they're just too fast, too pacey, and I just do not see Ream and Zimmerman catching up to those players when they're going on the counterattack and they're basically trying to get behind us, our defensive line, and making those runs. And then you have Sterling and Bellingham, and it's just going to be a headache. I think that the safest bet for USA is to sit deep and then attack on the counter, because again, we have the players. If we did not have those players, it would be a much different story. Unless Greg Berhalter does say, no, we're gonna have USA sit very high, the defensive line is going to be basically in the middle of the pitch, I want Ream and Zimmerman to push up even higher. Like, if that's going to be the case, then okay, right? I wish Greg Berhalter a lot of luck. Let's see how England do respond with that. Most likely they're going to be having a plan, but again, I expect USA to sit deeper much more than we usually do see them. Facing against Mexico is a much different story than facing against England. So that'll be it. That is going to be wrapping up today's American Dynasty YouTube video, and I will see you guys in the next one.